Welcome to the video rulebook for the board game A Dog's World, or How to Play A Dog's World. If you'd like to skip ahead, use this table of contents to find the section you're looking for. In the board game A Dog's World, you are a dog, and your goal is to outscore your opponents by leading the best dog life possible. Pick your breed, learn tricks, perform heroic deeds, and mark your territory as you travel from the suburbs to the city to the outskirts of town. Obtain the most points by the end of the game to win. Be sure your copy of the game contains all the following components: 1 rules booklet, 1 game board, 5 pawns, 10 dog pawn stickers, 5 house pieces, 100 cube markers, 20 in each color, 36 tokens, including 4 field tokens, 6 park tokens, and 26 bonus tokens, 5 lifeline cards, 1 10-sided die, 1 dog catcher pawn, 1 6-sided dog catcher die, 6 dog catcher die stickers, 5 reference cards, 18 breed cards, and 103 playing cards. Before playing A Dog's World for the first time, carefully punch out all the park tokens, field tokens, and bonus tokens. Apply the dog pawn stickers to both sides of their light-colored pawns. Apply 1 die sticker to each side of the 6-sided dog catcher die. Each player chooses 1 breed card, 1 lifeline card, and a set of playing pieces, including 1 dog pawn, 1 house piece, and 20 cube markers, all of the same color. Looking at your breed card, find the number indicated under life, and put one of your markers on your lifeline card at that same number. Players might start at different numbers on their lifeline depending upon what breed they have. Decide who will be player 1. Player rotates to the left. Player 1 rolls the 10-sided die to determine which home territory he or she will start. After rolling, the player places his or her dog pawn and house piece on that numbered home space on the game board. Player 2 then rolls and places his or her dog and home next, and so on until each player has placed his or her dog and home pieces on a home territory. If any player rolls the same home territory already occupied by an opponent, that player must re-roll until he can place pieces on an unoccupied home territory. Players may never share the same home territory. Pick a player to roll the 10-sided die again, then put the dog catcher pawn on the home territory of that number. If a player's house piece is on that territory, then re-roll until an unowned home territory is rolled. The dog catcher may never start on a player's home territory. The board is divided into 4 areas: Suburbs number 1, Outskirts, Suburbs number 2, and City. The roads on the board divide each area into territories. Some territories include either a park icon or a field icon beside a number. These are the territories where parks and fields can be placed. Pick a player to roll the 10-sided die. That player will either roll once or twice for each area, depending upon which area they're rolling for. You can see the park and field placement chart, which tells you how many park tokens or field tokens go in any particular area. For example, for the Suburbs number 1 area, roll the 10-sided die once to place 1 park token. After rolling, find the territory marked with a park icon and the number rolled on the die. Place 1 park token. For the Outskirts area, roll twice to place 2 field tokens. For the Suburbs number 2 area, roll once to place 1 park token. And for the City area, roll twice to place 2 park tokens. For the Outskirts or the City areas, if a field or park token has already been placed in the territory rolled, then roll again until a territory without a token is rolled. There can never be more than 1 token in the same territory. Any unused park or field tokens are placed back in the box. Shuffle the deck of playing cards and deal 6 to each player. Players put the cards in their hands and may look at them. Some breed abilities may enable a player to have more than 6 cards in their hand. Place the remainder of the deck in the middle of the board for the draw pile. You are now ready to play A Dog's World. The dog catcher moves before player 1's turn every round, including the first round. Roll the 6-sided dog catcher die. The dog catcher will move the number of territories shown on the die along the path of colored arrows matching the color on the die. For example, if a red 5 is rolled on the dog catcher die, the dog catcher then moves 5 territories following the red arrows. If during his movement the dog catcher lands on a territory occupied by a player, he immediately stops moving. The player's dog is sent to the pound, and his or her dog pawn is removed from the board. The dog catcher must now start at a new location, so the black 10-sided die is rolled to place him at one of the unclaimed home territories, as in the setup of the game. Re-roll if necessary. If you get sent to the pound, remove your dog pawn from the board. You must then choose and discard one of your blue deed cards in play. If you do not have a deed in play, then you must discard a gold heroic deed in play. If you do not have either a deed or a heroic deed in play, then you must discard one trick in play. If you have no cards in play, then you may skip this discard step. On your next turn, place your dog in your home territory. Then move your lifeline marker down 1. No other actions may be taken this turn. On your following turn, you may move and play cards as normal, starting from your home territory. After the dog catcher moves, each player gets a turn, starting with player 1. The steps listed must be done in order, although you may choose to skip some steps on your turn. The only step that will always occur each turn is the reduce lifeline step. These steps can also be found on the reference card as a reminder. Your dog can move to any adjacent territory, up to a maximum number of territories equal to the move number on your breed card. You may move less than that number if you wish, or not at all if you are on your home territory. You must move off of your current territory this turn if you marked it on your previous turn. The movement restrictions are as follows. You may not move into or through a territory occupied by the dog catcher. You may not move into or through a territory occupied by another player's dog. You may not move into or through any home territory except your own. You may not end your movement in one of your marked territories. However, you may move through a territory with your own marker. As long as you are not on your home territory after movement, you must mark the territory you are currently located with one of your colored cube markers. If another player has already marked the territory, remove his or her marker and replace it with one of yours. There may never be more than one marker in a territory. You may not end your movement in one of your marked territories. You must wait until another player replaces your marker before you can stop in that territory again. Home territories are never marked, so you may remain at your home for as many turns as you like. If you run out of markers, 19 total, then you do not mark territory again until one of your markers gets taken off the board and returned to you. You may stay on your current territory if you cannot mark it. At the end of the game, score 1 point for each marker you have remaining on the board. After marking territory, you may either play cards from your hand or discard cards, but you may not do both. You may play one of each and only one of each card type per turn if able. 1 action card, 1 trick card, 1 deed card, and 1 heroic deed card. So it's possible to play up to 4 cards total on your turn. If you do not play any cards this turn, then you have the option of discarding any number of cards in your hand. Action cards may be played while your dog is in any territory, and the effects of the card are read aloud and resolved. Once an action card is played, it is placed in the discard pile unless indicated otherwise on the card. For example, bad dog action cards are played on opponents and are tallied at the end of the game. Trick, deed, and heroic deed cards are played near your breed and lifeline cards. Each have a list of territory icons along the left side of the card. These cards may only be played when your dog is in one of the territories highlighted on that list. If a card has more than one highlighted icon, then you only need to be in one of those territories to play the card. A card with a house icon highlighted may be played in your own home territory. A card with a tree icon highlighted may be played in any territory with a park token. A card with the wheat icon highlighted may be played in any territory with a field token. A card with the blue icon highlighted may be played in any city territory, including your home territory if it's in the city, and any park token territories in the city area. A card with the green icon highlighted may be played in any suburbs territory, including your own home territory if it's in the suburbs, and any park token territories in either of the suburbs areas. A card with the yellow icon highlighted may be played in any outskirts territory, including your home territory if it's in the outskirts, and any field token territories in the outskirts area. To play a trick card, you must be in one of the corresponding territories indicated by the highlighted territory icon or icons on the left side of the card. You may not play the same trick twice, no duplicates. Each breed has a known trick, which also cannot be duplicated. Playing tricks will allow you to perform deeds and heroic deeds that will earn you points at the end of the game. To play a deed card, you must be in the corresponding territory indicated by the highlighted territory icon on the left side of the card. And you must have 2 of the 4 tricks listed on the card in play, or as your breed's known trick. Unlike tricks, you may play duplicates of deed cards. If you have in play the bonus trick listed on the deed card, which is indicated in gold lettering with the gold bone icon on both sides of the word, then you get a bonus point for that deed. Take a +1 bonus token. You may only receive this bonus when you play the deed card and not on future turns. At the end of the game, each player receives 2 points for each deed card they have in play, and 1 point for each bonus token. To play a heroic deed card, you must be in the corresponding territory indicated by the highlighted territory icon on the left side of the card. And you must have both of the tricks listed on the card in play, or as your breed's known trick. Whenever you play a heroic deed, you must reduce your lifeline by 1 for each heroic deed you currently have in play. For instance, if you are playing your first heroic deed this game, reduce your life by 1. If you are playing your second heroic deed this game, reduce your life by 2. If you are playing your third heroic deed, reduce your life by 3, and so on. If you play a heroic deed that would cause you to reach the end of your lifeline, then you are immediately out of the game. At the end of the game, each player receives 5 points for each heroic deed they have in play. If you have less than 6 cards in your hand, either because you played them or discarded them, then draw back up to the 6-card hand limit. If the draw deck runs out of cards, shuffle the discard pile to form a new draw deck. The last step of your turn is to reduce your life by 1. Move your lifeline marker down 1 number. If you have already reduced your life earlier in the turn, because of a heroic deed for instance, you must still reduce your life by 1 at the end of each turn. Play then passes to the player on your left. Once your lifeline reaches the end space, your dog is too old to learn new tricks or perform deeds and must retire to the countryside. You are immediately out of the game and must remove your dog pawn from the board. It is possible that some players may end up with more turns than other players, depending upon their breed's starting life. Once out of the game, you cannot have any of your cards in play traded, discarded, or stolen, and no player may play any cards on you. However, any of your territory markers left on the board can still be replaced in future turns by players remaining in the game. Once all players have reached the end of their lifelines, the game is over and scores are tallied. After the last player has reached the end of his or her lifeline, players add up their points. 1 point for each of your cube markers left on the board, 2 points for each deed you have in play, 1 point for each bonus token you have collected, 5 points for each heroic deed you have in play, and -2 points for each bad dog action card played on you. The player with the most points after totaling scores is the winner. Before playing a single-player game of A Dog's World, remove the following action cards from the play deck and set them aside. The 4 bad dog cards, the 4 forgetful cards, and the take credit card. The object of the game is to score as many points as possible within your dog's lifespan. Since you cannot remove markers once they've been placed, and since you cannot end your movement on a territory with your own marker, you will need to plan your moves and cards carefully. Also note that breed abilities for the Chihuahua, Poodle, and Yorkshire Terrier cannot be used in solo play. Don't forget to dog catch your moves before each of your turns. Once your lifeline reaches the end, tally up your points and consult the rankings list. For more detailed information and examples on how to play A Dog's World, please consult the rules booklet. Thanks for watching.